You're listening to Lore Friendly. I'm your host, Chris Takahashi, and with me, as always, is Alice Bell. How you doing, Alice?
Hi guys, I'm not bad, thank you. How are you?
I am doing okay. I did have a thing yesterday where I forgot, because I don't keep a lot of money in my bank account. I keep it in this mutual fund account that I have. But I used to work at this company, and they give me, I could buy mutual funds without having to pay commission, right?
Yeah.
And so they have a better return on mutual funds than you do at a bank. So I barely keep any money in the bank, just enough to like pay a bill or two if I need to, right?
Yeah.
So like I kind of ignored it, and then what happened is I overdrafted and they charge a fee, right?
Oh, yeah.
But the thing is they charge a fee like every day after if you don't fix it. And the thing is they don't contact you. And so like a month and a half later, I get this email, and it says, "Hey, you overdrafted." I'm like, "Oh, I must have overdrafted yesterday." I check it, I like overdrafted in April, and they've been charging me fees every day.
Oh God!
And it's like, if you're gonna send me an email, like, why would you send it today? Why wouldn't you send it back then? Like, they just like waited like a month and a half. They like waited a month and a half.
Yeah, because they want to get as much money out of you as possible.
Yeah. So I'm looking at it. It's like, every day they charged me like $6, and it's just like, and after a while it was like $200 I had to pay extra. But it's my own fault, so I can't really complain. I mean, I should have checked to see if
I feel like the bank should tell you when you go into your overdraft.
Yeah, especially if you have money in your savings account that could cover it. Like, you just have to transfer. That's all I did. Like, I didn't put any new money in. I just moved the money from the savings to the checkings. It's just that I overdrafted the checking because I wasn't paying attention to it, because I never do. But yeah, it was my own fault. But it's just funny. It's like, okay, you could have notified me 2 months ago, but you're notifying me today. It's just
but
weird.
who's £200 better off now? Well, dollars.
Yeah.
The bank. That's why they didn't tell you.
Yeah. If it was pounds, they would have contacted me right away. It's like, oh God, this person's losing British money. Oh no.
Oh no. No, they'd be really happy because
they would have been
we
knocking on
threw
your
your
door.
tea in the harbour. Yeah, we don't like these British folk. They can lose all of their pounds. No.
It's not even money. It's a measurement of weight.
Wow.
What does he care? He's losing pounds. He's on a diet. Good for him.
So bad. That is such a bad poem.
Anyways, how are you? How's life?
Not too bad. I decided that because I'm not going to be able to afford a new laptop until September probably, I should probably take better care of the one that I've got, because the one that I've got is 4 years old. And I've never cleaned the fan out.
Just treat it like shit.
Yeah, I've never cleaned the fan out. And my laptop was starting to overheat a lot. So I thought, right, I'm going to do some techie shit. So I bought some compressed air, I bought some PC wipes, and then I spent about 3 or 4 hours trying to figure out how to clean out my fan yesterday. And I got loads of blowback, and I got covered in dust. Because I'm an idiot. And then I spent ages trying to get the cover back on. So the moral of this story is, I shouldn't be trusted with technology.
Yeah, the moral of the story is just buy a new laptop.
I can't afford
Just spend the money now. Yeah,
I could go into
true.
my overdraft, but then I'd get £200 charge.
Yeah, exactly.
I just don't buy stuff. I've probably got like a hoard of money, like in Gringotts or something.
Yeah, electronics are probably the one thing where you can wait. You can wait. You might as well wait an extra year. I mean, because a better one's going to come out anyway. So even if you did spend your money today, that laptop is going to feel outdated anyway. So you might as well just like use it until it dies, basically, is my policy.
Yeah. Well, my laptop managed to last until, well, it managed to like keep up with games up until probably early 2015. So I've done pretty well with it. And now it's only just now that it started lagging behind. And because there's so many good releases coming out this year, I feel like I should update in like September, October time.
Yeah, the only reason I updated I'd say 2014. I'm not sure. Like, I was gonna use the same one I had in 2009. Like, I had a 570 GTX NVIDIA. Now I have a 770.
Wow.
Which is really outdated now. But the only reason I switched was because the first one died, basically.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, like, oh, I had to switch. Like, I can play games on low resolution if I have to. I don't.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
You're not that finicky about graphics and stuff.
I can't tell the difference, to be honest. I can't. I guess my eyes are just that bad. But with a lot of things that have subtle differences, I can't really tell at all.
To be honest, like, some of the best games that have come out recently have been like 8-bit, 16-bit games anyway, so and pretty low spec. I mean, who wants to buy a new laptop just for the new COD or whatever? It's not worth it.
Of course, I'm thinking I might need a new computer whenever I open up the creation kit, because that thing takes up so much memory. It's ridiculous. Like,
do you have to like shut everything down?
Yeah, like my computer starts screaming if I load up an exterior cell, like an outside cell instead of an inside one. Like, it'll just hang for like, I'm literally like 10 or 20 minutes it will hang. And so I kind of design my schedule around when I have to do something with an exterior cell. Like, okay, it's about to be lunchtime. I can open up an exterior cell now. And when I come back from lunch, it might be, up and able to edit. So it's
probably not, but you can hope.
Yeah. So it feels ridiculous to complain about anything related to the creation kit because it's the only tool of its kind, and no other developer offers like these kind of tools to make stuff. So it's ridiculous that you would even complain. It's like someone giving you the greatest blowjob ever, and you're complaining that, I don't know, they didn't lick your butt or something. That's a horrible analogy, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like blowjobs are a dime a dozen.
Okay, what's a better
you need to think of something more unique. But equally as pleasurable.
It's like, it's like they're giving you let's make it more cleaned up. Like, it's like they're giving you like this great massage, and they're, working your back, working your legs, and you're complaining about, like, I don't know.
That you didn't get a happy ending.
Yeah. You're complaining they didn't give you a blowjob. Like, God damn it.
Why else would you go to a massage parlor?
Not for a fucking massage, that's for sure.
God damn it.
I
expect more out of my massages.
When are you gonna start tugging on my dick?
I almost spat tea on my microphone, Chris.
So that's basically what it feels like whenever I complain about the creation kit. It's like, God.
Massage with no happy ending.
Yeah, where is Todd Howard? Why isn't he massaging my balls? Why isn't he here now, tending to my needs? That's what I feel like whenever anyone complains about the creation kit or Bethesda.net. And I don't mean like regular criticisms or complaining about like the interface, because there's a lot of things that are wrong with it, and if you don't complain, they won't get corrected. But I'm just talking about just like hateful vitriol and just saying like Bethesda is like the worst and just throwing insults at them. I'm like, dude, this is the golden goose. Do not kill the golden goose. Okay? Like, do not piss off these people. They can just as easily say, you know what? I don't want to deal with this shit. No more mods.
Screw you.
Yeah, no more mods. Yeah.
Although, would that mean that the games have the same amount of longevity? Because, like, the only reason why Skyrim is still going so strong, and why even Oblivion is still going so strong, is because of the modding scene.
Right. No, definitely, it's not like it's all like a burden for them and they're just benevolent.
Like, they're definitely profiting off of it.
Yeah. It's just cost benefit kind of deal where, like, okay, do we really want to just deal with this shit like over and over again? Yeah. These people are just complaining and complaining. Of course, although if they ever did get rid of mods, like, man, the outrage. Like, you can...
Oh my god.
You can never take something away from somebody. Like, you can deny them a service from the get-go, and they'll be fine. They'll be totally cool with it. But you give them something, and then you take it away. Oh, man.
Yeah.
They would freak out.
I mean, look at The Sims.
Yeah.
Sims 3 gave you loads. Sims 4 just took it all out and threw it in the shitter.
Yeah.
With the DLC price tag.
Yes.
Not that I play Sims.
Yeah, so they could probably never do that.
No.
Yeah. But
they could just delay it indefinitely. Like, they spent a lot of time getting this creation kit out.
Yeah. And they're also, like, working on their new website, Bethesda.net, which is, it's funny because whatever algorithm or whatever system they're using for categories is just, it's totally redundant. Like, you'll see the same 5 bots, including Atomic Radio, by the way. Download it.
Hey! Sorry, that was really
it's
loud.
Funny. It's like the same 5 or 6 mods are on, like, every row, because so many of the rows are redundant. Like, they have highest rated, favorited, what else? Most popular, which are really, like, 4 or 5 different ways of saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Even their most popular this week is based on, I guess, downloads this week as opposed to mods that came out this week.
Yeah.
And so they've got a bit of ways to go before they can
They need to stop stepping on Nexus's toes.
Yeah. Well, I don't mind, because, like, I mean, Nexus is a great service. I don't mind if Bethesda, it's their game ultimately. If they want to control the modding scene, that's up to them. I mean, like I said, I don't want to kill the golden goose here.
Yeah.
I mean, if Bethesda wants to make a website and serve an example to other developers, like, hey, you can make money this way too. Maybe other developers will open up their games. So I want Bethesda.net to succeed in that regard.
Yeah.
It's just they need to put, if they want it to succeed, if they want it to beat
they need to make it a competitor for the Nexus.
Yeah, they need to make it competitive with something that, I mean, because Nexus, this is their livelihood, this is their game. Like, they put all their effort into it, and the difference shows, because Bethesda's just sort of, just starting out. The thing I found curious is that they didn't try to emulate anything that Nexus does. It's almost as if they had no idea Nexus even existed and tried to make this from scratch. So I would have given a look at Nexus and use some of their features, not all, because I think Nexus is kind of a one-size-fit-all kind of deal too. They have a lot of flaws too, but it's surprising that they
have a lot of porn.
Yeah, they don't do a very good job highlighting good mods that build up gradually over time. Like, Interesting NPCs was one of those mods where it didn't ever become a hot file, just because it was one of the mods that it wasn't flashy at the start. It just sort of built up. And there's a lot of mods like that where people are dedicated, they're putting time and effort into it, but because they don't catch your eye right away, or if they're not, like, from a name brand modder and they are not marketed well at the start, they just don't get the attention, and Nexus has a real problem with that. But yeah, mods, Bethesda.net, I think, will have one major advantage, and that's obviously the consoles. So, because I
think that's going to be really interesting when mods finally get translated over to consoles.
Yeah, I think, well, consoles are basically just low-end computers.
Yeah.
So one of the main differences would be just how powerful the machines are and whether they can handle the mod.
Yeah.
The other main difference is mods that require SKSE, or the script extender and stuff like that. Those mods won't make it to console, but otherwise they're not fundamentally different from just low-end PCs. Certain mods, most mods should be compatible, I'd say.
Yeah.
It's just, that's how I think they're going to take down Nexus, more or less. I mean, that's the big threat to Nexus. Okay, we don't have to shut down your business. We're just going to make it obsolete by offering this extra service.
To everyone.
Right. The problem is that they haven't put the care into the website.
Yeah. For it to really be a competitor.
Yeah. But who knows? In time, they probably will.
It might be like Interesting NPCs. It just builds up and up and up.
Yeah,
Suddenly it's great.
There you go. And like I said, it's hard for me to criticize them, because I just feel like, okay, we don't want to piss them off. These people are giving us something that no other developer in the business
really
does.
gives. Yeah.
So
It's not shoot 'em in the balls.
So, but enough about modding and stuff like that. What else did you want to talk about?
Well, let's take a bit of a segue from gaming to this article that randomly popped up on my Facebook feed.
Okay.
Let me send you the link. We'll leave a link in the description.
Oh, is this the school teacher?
Yeah, it's the school teacher. Let me send it to you again. Basically, the headline is, School Principal, Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings cause brain damage. And you'd think, reading that headline, that it's probably some, like, crazy...
sensationalism there, maybe.
Yeah. Well, but you'd think it's, like, probably some crazy Southern American...
Oh, American.
Hippie teacher. I think it's... I thought it was American when I first read it. Let's face it, you're kind of, like...
Yeah, we've got
known
some dumb
for
shit.
these kind of eccentricities.
Yeah. You put it better than I did. I called them dumb shits.
Eccentric. The basic story is a British private school teacher called Graham Whitting claimed that popular fantasy books can cause the sensitive subconscious brains of young children, many of whom may be added to the current statistics of mentally ill children. And he also criticised George R.R. Martin and Terry Pratchett, who is
how dare they?
Terry Pratchett is amazing. He's so funny. Rest in peace, man. Claiming that they contain deeply insensitive and addictive material, which I am certain encourages difficult behaviour in children. He then goes on to say that he praised the old-fashioned values of traditional literature, which he offered as examples William Shakespeare, John Keats, Charles Dickens, and Shelley, which could be Mary Shelley or Percy Bysshe Shelley.
Never heard of that person.
It seems like he's never read the works of Shakespeare, because one of his plays, Titus Andronicus, is basically Game of Thrones on steroids. Like, it includes rape, hands getting cut off, crucifixion, heads getting chopped off, cannibalism, good British family values.
Children's literature.
Yeah. And then there's Midsummer Night's Dream, which is basically fantasy. It's about fairies who, because they're arguing a lot, like, the world's going to shit. And if he's talking about Mary Shelley, he's talking about Frankenstein, isn't he? And Frankenstein's fucking dangers of science. Rah! Playing God is bad.
Is that what scientists are doing? I thought they were just making the world a better place, but...
Yeah, whatever. And he ended his post by saying, beware the devil in the text, choose beauty for your young children. Young children shouldn't be reading Game of Thrones.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a children's book to begin with. And it's just...
Yeah. Neither is Lord of the Rings, for that matter, because Lord of the Rings is... I really struggle with Lord of the Rings.
It's a bit tedious.
He's good at world building, he's not good at story writing.
He's just pissed off half of our dwindling audience, but...
Soz, guys!
I think it...
Hey, we're not dwindling, we're still on 300 subscribers last time I checked.
Posts like these can be summed up with 4 words. Get off my lawn. That's all it is. It's just old people who don't understand the world today and just want to complain about it. And that's why whenever I don't understand something that's new, the last thing I want to do is just like criticize. I just realize that I don't understand it. It's just, it's just from a different era. It's just, there's no reason.
But the thing is, this dude must have been around when Lord of the Rings first came out.
Good point.
Well, I can understand with the more modern stuff that he's a bit...
I like how he thinks he's an expert on the brain and the subconscious. He probably like spent the whole night like typing up that post, like it was like some epiphany, like, oh my god, the world is gonna read this and it's gonna change everything. And then no, your opinions are horrible.
Oh my god, I've just found a better quote in the article. Buying sensational books is like feeding your child
Sugar,
with spoons
yes,
of
I
added
read
sugar.
that.
Heaps of it. And when the child becomes addicted, it will seek more and more, which, if related to books, fills in the blank vaults of those who write unsensitive books for young children. God help us, the children want to read. What a shame!
You start getting the semantics there too, like the difference between addictive and good. Like if maybe something is just good and fun to read, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, those things are kind of like naturally addicting. It's different than if something is maliciously addictive. Like, the difference between having natural sugar because sugar tastes good, right? And some kind of additive that is meant to manipulate your brain into thinking it's good and wanting more, like some kind of chemical drug.
McDonald's food.
Right. And so when we're talking about things that are fun to read, I mean, of course they're going to be addictive in some sense. Anything that is enjoyable and pleasurable is going to be something that you want to have more of. And children are not that fragile. I think that's the other thing that like people think. Like you could drop them and they'll be fine. I mean, children are, you know, they're robust. They can survive. They're meant to survive this world. So I think it's safe to say that even though it's not a book for children, even if they did, God forbid, manage to get their hands on a Game of Thrones, they would survive.
Yeah. They wouldn't start raping and murdering and pillaging and raising direwolves.
They're not going to become Game of Thrones crack fiends and start hounding George R. Martin at his home, begging for more books.
God damn.
Although, now that I think about it, that wouldn't be such a bad thing.
He did release a new chapter. Maybe he got crowded by addicted kids and was forced to release it.
Maybe that's what we need. We need to get more children addicted to Game of Thrones. I think this blog poster is onto something here.
Oh my god. Yes. Game of Thrones is like crack for children.
Yes, we need to get them addicted, and then once they're addicted, they'll start putting more pressure on George. Like,
in all honesty, like half the Reddit posts I see about the new book look like they were written by children.
Yes, so, man children.
You know,
honestly.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
how do you feel about like Game of Thrones? So, the new season.
I feel like we should leave this until like the rest of the season is done, because I've got some very aggressive thoughts on it that I've expressed through Twitter, but I want to leave it to see if it's building to something.
Well, so far, the only things we've watched are things we've already known. I mean, we haven't gotten into that territory.
Apart from whatever the hell happened with Dawn.
Yeah.
And whatever the hell happened with the Boltons.
Right.
And whatever the fuck's going on in King's Landing. And whatever the fuck is going on with Marine. I don't know.
Well, that just seems like it's culling to me. To me, it's just like, okay, we're going to kill off all these people that don't matter, right?
That nobody likes.
Right. And we're just
No, they killed off the only redeeming characters in the Dawn storyline, and they kept the Sand Snakes alive.
Oh god, yeah. Well, I think eventually the Sand Snakes are just gonna like fade out of the story because they're not really central to the plot.
Yeah, I hope they just forget that Dawn exists. To be honest.
Yeah, pretty much.
It was a bad mistake.
Yeah. And so I don't think, even though, we had the deaths, we had Ramsay killing Roose and all that, I still feel like with the main plot points, the big spoilers that were supposed to come at the end of every episode, we're still watching things that we've already known. Even though they haven't been written yet, we already knew Jon Snow was coming back. It was just had no punch at all because we already knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And so I think going forward, because Jon leaving the Black, going forward is where we're really going to start to see new things that we haven't ever seen before. As book readers, it's a little bit different for us. Like, we're going into new territory.
Yeah.
Well, with the exception of
new territory, which is like not related to the books at all, might we add. Yeah.
Pseudo new territory. Well, exception of the whole brand thing, which we already all know. So.
Oh God. Yeah.
I didn't realize that. What's his name?
Max von Sydow.
No. The sword guy, the Sword of Morning guy.
Arthur Dayne.
I didn't realize he was a dual wield. Is that correct?
No, he isn't.
Okay, because I imagine him with like a big greatsword, right?
Yeah, he's like, he iconically wields
The Sword of Dawn.
Sword Dawn, yeah.
And all of a sudden he's like a dual wielding ninja. I'm like, what? Wait, did I not read the books correctly?
I think they just thought it looked cooler, but it didn't.
It was just a way of managing the fight, I guess, because when you have two swords, it's easier to fend off two different attackers. I don't know. I
feel like it would be harder dual wielding.
Yeah.
I feel like dual wielding would be so much harder.
I just feel like it was out of character for him, which should be more important than the action sequence. But,
yeah. But since when did Game of Thrones care about characterization? Oh!
Shots fired.
Please don't kill me.
Yeah. So that whole Bran storyline is kind of obvious. But yeah, there is a part of me that's kind of like, okay, now we're going into the pseudo new territory and we're going toward the end, and that kind of makes me a little bit sad.
I feel like we're kind of careening towards the end. Like, they just put us on a roller coaster and they've taken off the brakes. And we're just going full pelt towards the end now because they want to get it done quickly.
Do they want to get it done quickly, though? It's a moneymaker. I mean, every incentive would be to not get it done quickly, right?
Apparently, D&D are thinking that they can get it done in 1.5 seasons after this one. And they want to get it done in 1.5 seasons. I think they're just sick of the show.
Well, it is a good thing to not let something drag on, because that's usually the thing with television. You have writers who want to end something and write a story, whereas you have producers and developers who or I don't know, studios
and execs
execs who want to just don't want to cut off the faucet, the money faucet's draining. Or
I mean, look at Walking Dead.
No.
That's what you get when you drag on a show.
It just does not end well.
Yeah. Oh, God.
So I'm I don't really have any feelings one way or the other, because I don't think the season has really gotten to the point where we're not past anything we already know. So I'm still kind of just like, on the season.
I'm interested to see where it goes, but I'm glad that I've distanced myself from the show a bit more, because it's the perfect way for me to vent. I don't explode at my housemates. I just explode on the internet about Game of Thrones. So
you're just hate watching now?
I wouldn't say hate watching.
Okay.
There are some golden scenes in there. The acting is, as ever, pretty phenomenal.
Yeah.
If there is, I watch the show for the acting, because the actors are amazing, apart from the Sand Snakes, but we don't talk about them. The costuming, because I love fancy costumes and set pieces and stuff like that. And there was another one on that list that I've forgotten. And I do kind of watch it for the hate.
Just a small part of you watches it.
Just a small
80%,
part, yeah.
85%, something like that. Just a smidge.
It gives me something to, vent at. There's worse things that I could be doing. Right. I could be doing drugs.
You could be. But aren't you doing drugs when you're watching Game of Thrones?
I do sometimes feel like I need a big glass of wine.
Isn't your subconscious getting ruined?
Yeah, it probably is. I think for the finale episode, I'm going to start on my last bottle of mulled wine that I got at Christmas.
Wait, but the finale this season isn't the finale, right? That's next season, right?
Next season and a half. But, yeah, I just feel like I think sometimes when I watch the episode, I should be drinking, but because I watch it on a Monday morning, because of time zones, I don't think that I could get away with drinking at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Why don't you
I
just
may
wait
be a student, but I'm not that much of a student.
Maybe why don't you just wait till later on?
Because I can't go on Tumblr or Reddit.
Oh, yeah, that's the aspect of TV watching now that's different than before.
Or Facebook.
Yeah, the social media aspect has kind of changed how we watch shows.
Or Twitter.
Or this
I
podcast.
can't do anything. Yeah. I literally can't do anything until I watch Game of Thrones. It's the same with Drag Race.
Yeah.
Not that I've managed to convince you to watch Drag Race yet.
I have not. I have not. I probably won't be watching anything new anytime soon with all this modding stuff to do.
Yeah, I can't blame you.
Yeah. So, should we rate... Wait. I was going to say, rate Game of Thrones on a scale of Game of Thrones. But that would be stupid.
No, it wouldn't.
That would put us into a infinite recursive loop.
I rate it a shaggy dog.
Yeah. Oh, poor shaggy dog.
Well, that's like the definition of a shaggy dog story, is like, it goes round and round and it ultimately comes to nothing.
It sucks that he's dead.
I don't want it to be Shaggy Dog. I'm holding out hope.
It's funny how more people care about Shaggy Dog than they do Rickon. Like, nobody gives a shit about Rickon. It'd be such a weird twist if he was the one who ended up surviving out of all the Starks.
Yeah. That would just be the perfect ending. God.
Prince that was promised.
I'm just so upset that we won't get to see Rickon riding on a unicorn in Skagos, because that's what he's doing in the books. Just like Sansa isn't getting raped.
Well, things aren't all sunshine and roses for her. I mean, she is with Littlefinger.
Yeah, and she's flirting,
No.
but she's got a 12-foot lemon cake.
At least in the TV show, she's with good people now. Like, she's left the bad folk behind.
Oh no, they'll find a way to keep on torturing her. They don't like her.
No. She's with Brienne now. Brienne's almighty.
Yeah.
Nothing can stop her.
She'll probably get loads of rape threats at the wall or something.
Nah, Brienne will see to it those assholes get what they deserve.
I hope she does.
I want to.
Brienne and Sansa.
I want to see more adventures of her and Jaime, though. Those were the best.
Yeah, that was like when Jaime was at like his peak character.
Jaime. Yeah.
Yeah. Now he's just kind of like devolved into Cersei's lackey.
Yeah.
And going on bro trips with Bronn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, we should talk about something else, I guess.
Yeah.
What else were we going to cover?
We'll come back to it in the next podcast.
What else were we going to cover?
So, we looked at some beta footage / E3 demo footage of 2 games that are coming out this summer. So we had a look at Mirror's Edge. Is it Cataclysm or Catalyst?
Catalyst, I think, would be a better.
We looked at Mirror's Edge Catalyst, which comes out on June 7th. Yeah. And
Mirror's
and
Edge.
we had a look at the footage on Polygon. We'll leave a link to that in the description below and stuff like that, so you can go check it out. Came out about a month ago, I think, but this was footage from a beta that they had on Steam, I think. So it was a little less controlled than something that you might find in like a game jam environment and stuff like that, or a developer conference and stuff.
Yeah, I was surprised that they released so much gameplay of Mirror's Edge. Like, it was 30 minutes. I'm like, whoa, that's like a quarter of the game, isn't it? No.
Yeah, and it wasn't controlled like different press stuff have released different footage, so it shows like different outcomes and variables and stuff like that. I mean, it's still in some way controlled, but it's not as heavily controlled as, say, the previews for Alien Colonial Marines were.
Yeah, and the environments look great. I mean, they're a little too...
my god, it is gorgeous.
They're very, very clean, but that fits with the narrative. Like, in some games, I feel like, okay, these walls are super shiny. Why are they so shiny? But in this case, it's like, it's perfect for the atmosphere that's trying to create.
Yeah. I like overly sterile dystopian settings in comparison to, like, rusty, grungy dystopian settings. I just think there's something more eerie about it.
Yeah, it's...
Because, like, with the grungy ones, you can tell that something's, like, immediately up. With the super hyper clean ones, it's like, you can tell that something's not quite right, but you can't put your finger on it, kind of thing.
It's like the whole narrative that goes with the suburbs. It used to be, like, the inner city was the dystopia kind of like the place you don't want to live, and then it became the suburbs, which are the more creepy kind of place to live because just
yeah. I found that like the opening 5 minutes, like they gave you just enough kind of like exposition and stuff that you could tell that it was a dystopian society, police state, that there was something severely wrong with the society. You already had like some kind of motivation, whereas in the first Mirror's Edge, it was just like, I am running over roofs, and I'm not quite sure what the story is. Something, sister, something.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I played Mirror's Edge.
Well, in fairness, I'm sure they didn't really have the development dollars or time to put into it like they did now.
Definitely,
they had to focus on the game aspect. And then now they have the game, foundation of the game already done. Now they can like layer it with story and add depth to it.
Yeah, the story looks very intriguing.
Was that Nathan Drake at the end of the gameplay trailer? All you white people look alike. I
don't know. Maybe. Probably.
You look just like him.
That's racist!
The guy who's like talking to her and like, you know, talking down to her.
Oh, what's his... Icarus.
Oh, is that his name is?
Yeah.
Is he voiced by Troy Baker or the other guy?
Troy Baker or Nolan North, probably. Everyone is voiced by Nolan North.
Yeah, even us. This isn't even my voice. This is Nolan North doing an impersonation of me. He's that good. Yeah.
The only like criticism that I really had with the gameplay that I saw was the really hand-holdy notifications. It was like to use a comparison, in Skyrim, it's like you were just using an unlimited clairvoyance spell to find out where you were going.
Yeah. Do you think they could...
But it showed you exactly where you needed to jump, exactly what you needed to do, whereas in the first one, I preferred it where you kind of had to figure your way. I know it's to, like, increase the flow of the free running and stuff like that, but I don't like being told exactly what to do. I like to figure stuff out. Like, that's half of the game.
Do you think that's going to be an option, though, to turn off?
I hope it is. Like, the fact that it's called Runner Vision and you don't get it at the very, very start of the game, it kind of implies that it's something that can maybe be adjusted to adjust difficulty levels and stuff like that. Like, to just customize the game a bit. Because I just found them a little bit off-putting.
So, yeah, I think with those kind of things, usually if you complain loudly enough, they'll create options to turn it off anyway. So, I think it'll be fine. It might even be a perk that you add, and you can just ignore the perk. Like, I don't want this.
Yeah. Go away. But, yeah, I also thought that the dialogue was nothing to write home about.
That's typical in video games, right?
Typical. But, yeah, it wasn't great. There were some... It just didn't, like, strike me as very natural. Like, the voice acting was a bit
stilted
and stuff. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to it. I am looking forward to seeing, like... I'm just looking forward to running around in a shiny place.
Maybe they should just get rid of the whole story part and just have the game...
And just have a running around simulator.
Yeah. I wonder if they ever made a game like that.
They probably have.
Yeah, it's called the original Mirror's Edge.
And from a super clean dystopia to a not super clean dystopia... Deus Ex, Mankind Divided, from that comes out on August 23rd. Now, the thing to bear in mind with the footage that we're going to link and stuff like that is that it is from the E3 demo, which means from 2015, which means that it's going to be like more controlled, more filtered. They're going to show you exactly what they want you to see. It's got a bit of developer commentary on it and stuff. So... like, what we're being shown isn't necessarily reflective of what the final game might be. I heard a Peggy.
I haven't seen the trailer yet. I was gonna look at it. It does look a lot grittier. Like, for me, the problem with the first Deus Ex were the visuals, the aesthetics were a little too clean, a little too polished. It didn't feel like a cyberpunk video game.
Really?
it felt futuristic, but in the wrong direction.
Do you mean Human Revolution?
Human Revolution, yeah, the first Deus Ex. It was all, like, they had that piss yellow filter.
I quite like the piss yellow dirt filter. I quite like the yellow filter. I thought it was good. I thought it gave it a more unique aesthetic from the usual kind of...
Cyberpunk?
Yeah, cyberpunk blues and stuff like that.
I like my cyberpunk to feel a little bit grimier. Like, this new trailer, I'm looking at it now, it feels a lot dirtier.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
There's a lot more grime and layers of dust covering everything, and that sort of helps set the mood, I think, for me.
I feel like what I liked about Human Revolution was, like, the contrast, because you did get those seedy, grimy areas, like the underbelly of different towns and stuff like that, and then you contrasted that with the way that the higher-ups live. I think it worked well in showing the, like, disparity between the different classes, and, like, you start off in this super posh office that's super sterile and clean, and then a couple of acts later you're in the undercity of some place in China that's not very nice, and then you go up to this top bit in China where they've got, like, this floating city where all the elite live and stuff like that. I really like the contrast.
Yeah, and the whole visual thing, that was, like, more nitpicking than anything else. The actual game is pretty awesome. As far as the emotional and philosophical beats, like the whole debate whether to upgrade synthetically or not, and how oftentimes that choice is made for you by economic conditions, and how it's not an easy one because there's a lot of, like, medical issues with, you know, integrating synthetic parts into human bodies. And so I thought it did a good job of addressing a lot of those issues, and the story overall and the gameplay was fun.
Yeah. Apart from the boss fights.
I was just talking about,
those fucking boss fights.
I was just talking about visually, it felt a little too clean for me.
Yeah,
and
fair
so
enough.
I really like this new trailer.
Fair enough. Different strokes, different
it looks
folks.
messier. It looks dirtier.
I did quite like the environment. It just felt a little less... Like, the visual style just felt a little less unique. But I wrote down on my notes "lol hacktivist" because at some point in the trailer they say hacktivist, and I just think that's the most stupid word. Like, it's I used it in an essay last year when I was talking about Anonymous.
It's like meme. It's like
it was just like,
in a
guys, you couldn't have come up with a better word than hacktivist. Really? Come on.
Is it like a language thing, or aren't they in... Oh, wait, they're in Montreal. Don't people in Montreal speak French?
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
Maybe it's a language thing, so they don't have.
They don't know how cringy it is.
Yeah. Wow, this new word I learned sounds perfect for our game. Hacktivist.
It sounds like hacking an activist.
Yeah.
That's how French people sound.
Yes, exactly.
I also noted that the voice acting wasn't great, but that's just carrying on in, like, the Deus Ex tradition, like, as far back as the very first Deus Ex. The voice acting hasn't been amazing.
Another problem with language, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. But,
like, the accents are hilarious.
That's another thing that's weird, though, is that they speak French in Montreal, but, like, people from Montreal and people from actual France, like, they don't understand each other. I think I lived in a dorm once where, I mean, they both spoke French, but they kind of avoided each other because they didn't understand what the hell the other person was saying. So yeah, it's
like different accents French. And slang and stuff like that.
It's amazing how we seem to understand each other sometimes.
I also put down a note: equal opportunity ass kicking, because you can kick the ass of both male and female goons, which makes me happy.
Ooh,
I feel like equality should go both ways. I want to kick everyone's ass because I hate everyone.
Men, women,
I just want
dogs.
to kick everyone.
Small children.
Yeah, that makes me sound kind of psycho, doesn't it? And then there was, like...
You can just blame the books you read as a child.
God damn it, Harry Potter!
And all the sugar you ate. It's turned you into a monster.
I'll go pester George some more now for the next book. And then I just noted that, like, it's kept some of the, like, highlights of the game, which was how different interactions with boss figures and stuff like that can be altered according to how you approach the situation before them and how your dialogue choices and stuff like that. Like, I thought that was good that they kept that in. I really like that. So I'm very interested to see how Deus Ex goes as well. Like, I really loved Human Revolution.
There seems to be a broader use of the visible spectrum as well.
There are some
besides urine.
There are some awesome augmentations that are shown in the video for both lethal and non-lethal, it just looks amazing. Like, it looks like it's going to be so much fun to play. So I'm looking forward to it. And I need to upgrade my laptop.
Someday in 2018, you'll be able to play. You'll be able to satisfy those cravings.
Finally. Yay.
So, anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think we've got enough content here.
Yeah, we're over an hour, although
a lot of that was us pissing around on the thing.
So, I guess that's it for this episode of Lord Friendly. Anything else you want to
add? See you next week. Well, not next week. Whenever, for more Game of Thrones bashing. Hey!
Yeah. And I'll try and put a little trailer. Another one. I already put one out, but I try to put a little second look at the mod when this is over. So more incentive to actually listen to our podcast or skip ahead to the end.
Because you hear about all this stuff. And you get secret things, and this is going to bring in so many viewers who just really don't care about
maybe
us.
Like 2 or 3 even.
Wow.
Say goodbye, Alice.
That is crazy numbers. Bye, guys.
So can we, have a serious talk about all the bugs in the Commonwealth? I'd say a heart-to-heart, but I'm pretty sure a blood bug ain't mine.
You see, a few scientists over at CIT were working on a way to deliver messages electronically.
You realize how crazy that sounds, right? Electronic mail. It'd never work.
Hi. Did Murawski send you? Funny, most good neighbor goons are buggy as fuck. But whoever made you had some clean code.
What's your movement all about?
We have the same goal as all men, to round the bases. From first base we hope to reach second, and from second we'll move on to third. Only then will the gates of home open, and our numbers will ascend to the scoreboard in the sky.
Here. This is everything I have.
Oh, you're really going to... Welcome. You've made a brave step into a bright future. You're now officially a pillar of the community.
Interesting choice. Personally, I would have kept my possessions and shot this man in the face. But we all have to make our own choices in life.
Miss Audrey, even at the worst of times, things aren't so bad when you're around.
Flattery, Codsworth, will get you everywhere.